AlJazeera. A panel of health experts in the US has recommended the emergency approval of the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine. The group advising the Food and Drug Administration offers some hope for an end to the pandemic that has killed more people in the US than anywhere else in the world. And as Paddy Colhane explains, the next step is formal approval to start an immunization campaign.
This slide is a continuation of the dose 2.
It was, at times, a little hard to understand, but that may have been the point, to let the thousands of people watching the FDA meeting know that they did their homework. This was an independent panel of scientists and doctors going online and, in essence, putting the Pfizer vaccine on trial. Hour and hour of testimony against the frightening backdrop of COVID deaths in the U.S.
And it is estimated that about 55,000 deaths will likely occur every month over the next few months.
In the end, after more than 8 hours of testimony, the panel voted.
So we do have a favorable vote,
urging the Food and Drug Administration to authorize the use of the first vaccine that is shown to be highly effective at immunizing people against the virus. Once final approval is given, almost 3 million doses of the vaccine will be shipped out for immediate delivery. Within days, healthcare providers and residents in long-term care facilities will be given the first doses. It won't be enough to stop the case counts from rising, along with a record number of Americans who are now dying every day, while healthcare workers are begging people to take the virus seriously.
We're exhausted. We are exhausted, and there will be no room to care for your family members if this continues. Goggles, N95s. We cannot have a drink of water for hours. We are so dehydrated. And we're doing everything for our patients because we know that they cannot see their families.
But in much of the country, many elected leaders are also not taking steps to stop the spread. Restaurants, bars, even bowling alleys remain open to the public. And with hospitals filling up, health experts are warning they may have to start rationing care, basically deciding who can get treatment and who can't. Pfizer says once it gets the approval, it expects to be able to produce around 50 million doses by the end of this year. The one hopeful sign for our country in a terrifying fight, one that right now it appears to be losing. Paddy Colhane, AlJazeera, Maryland.
Morocco has become the fourth Arab nation to agree to normalize ties with Israel. The US brokered the deal, promising an exchange to recognize Morocco's claim over the disputed Western Sahara region. A convicted murderer has been put to death in the U.S. state of Indiana as the Trump administration carries out a series of federal executions in its last weeks in power. Last-minute pleas for clemency for Brandon Bernard were ignored. 4 more executions are planned before Joe Biden, who opposes capital punishment, is sworn in as president. Argentina is poised to become only the 3rd country in South America to legalize abortion as politicians prepare to decide on a bill before Congress. Pro- and anti-abortion campaigners have held rallies in Buenos Aires, where the legislation is being debated ahead of a vote in the lower house. Prominent Hong Kong pro-democracy activist and media tycoon Jimmy Lai has been charged under a controversial security law. That's according to local media. He's accused of colluding with foreign forces and endangering national security. Lai is already in jail after being denied bail on a separate charge. Doctors in India are going on strike after traditional medicine practitioners were granted permission to perform surgeries. They say they are withdrawing non-essential and non-COVID-related services in protest. Last month, the government allowed Ayurveda doctors to be trained to perform more than 50 general surgeries. Scientists have reported a record drop in global carbon dioxide emissions this year. Figures from the Global Carbon Project showed emissions down 7% as a result of coronavirus lockdowns. Those are the headlines. I'll have more news in about 25 minutes' time. Up next, Al Jazeera World. See you